So how do we calculate the unemployment rate? Well, to calculate the unemployment rate, we're going to need two big pieces of information, which will be the number of unemployed people out there and the number of people in the labor force, which is the number of people unemployed plus the number of people employed. So labor force here is equal to unemployed plus employed. So to be unemployed, you have to be looking for a job and you cannot get one. You have to be in that search mode. So seeing as though most of you guys are full-time students, you wouldn't be considered unemployed, because even though someone would offer you a 40-hour-a-week job right now, most of you would not accept it because you have other commitments you have if you're studying full-time. So you wouldn't be unemployed and you wouldn't be employed. You would not be in the labor force. So full-time students are not in the labor force. Should we aim for an employment rate of 0? Well, no, because we had the idea of low unemployment is good, but natural unemployment is not that bad of a deal. It all depends. If we've had people that have been unemployed for long periods of time, that's a bigger problem. But otherwise, just people switching between jobs is not the end of the world. So the thing that we have to keep in mind here, and it's going to lead to that next section on problems with measuring unemployment, is that we could see here, and we'll see it a little bit more in this slide here, that we have a certain level of employed people, a certain level of unemployed people, but we have a lot of people that are not in the labor force. And those people don't count when we calculate the unemployment rate. We simply have this portion here as a fraction of all of this represents our unemployment rate. So in this case here, it'd be that 1.32 over that 19.12, which is the amount I got here and here. But these people don't count. There's almost 10 million people that don't count. And this is in the adult population as well. All of these people are 15 plus years old. They're not like young people or anything else. So yeah, there's some people that might not be looking for work, but in here you might have some students, but you may have also some discouraged workers. Discouraged are people that are just not looking for a job anymore. So those people will have an influence on the actual unemployment rate. In this slide here, I gave you guys an example of trying to see what would be the employed, unemployed, unemployment rate, and then I went through some different numbers. I'd suggest you guys to go through this whole example here and see how the unemployment rate will change over this example. Something you might notice is that you might have a situation, I'll leave you guys doing this example and you'll notice a few things, and then when we go through this problems with measuring unemployment, you'll kind of notice what can cause these weird answers, these weird situations. So take time, do this question here, go through it. I've typically had in the past an unemployment rate question that goes through a situation asking, like, you have two politicians and one says that over the course of a certain amount of time there's been an increase in the unemployment rate, and the other one said, well, there's been an increase in the amount of jobs held by people, or it could be the opposite. There's a decrease in the unemployment rate. One person's saying that, another person says, well, maybe, but there's been less people with jobs. Is it possible for both of these people to be right? To be definitely, it's possible that both them, one of them could be saying something wrong, which is the case, because normally when you expect more jobs, you'd expect unemployment rates to go down. But is it possible that these move in the same direction? And through this example, you should be able to notice that it is in fact possible, and try to know how you could do it and how you could prove it, because it's going to be important potentially on an exam.